If you're over 65, you need to hear this, because every single morning, millions of people are unknowingly pushing themselves closer to a life-changing stroke, all because of a handful of everyday habits that feel harmless. Here's something that will shock you. Strokes are the number 2 cause of death worldwide. Even worse, most strokes actually happen in the morning, often within just a few hours of waking up. According to the World Stroke Organization, someone suffers a stroke every 2 seconds, and every 6 seconds, someone dies from one. But what if I told you that one seemingly innocent morning habit is silently, relentlessly increasing your stroke risk, and almost nobody over 65 knows about it? Even more chilling, studies showed that up to 80% of strokes are preventable by changing daily routines, especially in the morning. So, if you've been thinking it won't happen to me, it's time for a wake-up call. Because you're about to discover that what you do in the first hour of your day can decide whether you stay healthy or end up as one of the 12 million people each year who suffer a stroke. And if you stick with us until the very end, we will reveal the number 1 most dangerous morning habit that's now proven through scientific studies to skyrocket stroke risk. One that almost everyone over 65 is guilty of without realizing just how dangerous it is. The evidence will shock you. Before we begin, let us know in the comments below where you're watching from, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. Now, without any further ado, let's get started. Number 7. Skipping breakfast completely. Now let's kick off with a morning mistake many people think is harmless: skipping breakfast altogether. You've probably heard that breakfast is the most important meal of the day, but maybe you've also seen the trend of intermittent fasting or skipping breakfast to lose weight. For seniors, this is a much riskier habit than most realize. Skipping breakfast puts your body under unnecessary stress first thing in the morning, because after a night of fasting, your blood sugar is already low. When you don't eat, your body releases stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. These hormones are supposed to help wake you up, but in high amounts, they do something else. They constrict your blood vessels and raise your blood pressure, 2 things that directly increase the risk of a stroke. In fact, a major study published in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology followed over 6,500 adults for 17 years and found that people who regularly skipped breakfast were 87% more likely to die from cardiovascular diseases, including stroke. That number is frightening, especially when you realize that your arteries are most vulnerable in the morning, just as your blood is thickest. Not eating makes your blood even more likely to clot, which is the main cause of an ischemic stroke, the type where a clot blocks blood flow to your brain. On top of that, seniors are more likely to have atherosclerosis, which is the hardening of the arteries, and when you add stress hormones and higher blood pressure to that mix, you're practically inviting a stroke. Some people believe skipping breakfast helps control their weight or blood sugar, but the reality for seniors is different. Your body is less able to cope with stress as you age, and going too long without food increases your risk of sudden blood pressure spikes, dizziness, and even fainting. So, what should you do? The answer is simple. Eat a balanced, light breakfast within 1 hour of waking up. It doesn't have to be a big meal, but it should include some protein, healthy fats, and fiber to stabilize your blood sugar and keep your blood vessels relaxed. Foods like eggs, Greek yogurt, or a handful of nuts are all great choices. Not only does this lower your stroke risk, but it also sets up your metabolism for better energy and focus throughout the day. Remember, starting your day with breakfast is not just about avoiding hunger. It's a powerful step to protect your brain and heart. Number 6. Drinking only coffee first thing in the morning. Next up, let's talk about something almost everyone over 65 does: grabbing a hot cup of coffee before anything else. Coffee is comforting, it's a ritual, and for many, it's non-negotiable. But here's the dark side most people never hear about. Drinking only coffee on an empty stomach in the morning can seriously raise your risk of a stroke, especially as you get older. Here's why. Caffeine, which is the active stimulant in coffee, causes your blood vessels to constrict. When you wake up, your body is dehydrated from not drinking water all night, and your blood is naturally thicker. Combine this with caffeine's effects, and you're left with narrow blood vessels and sluggish, sticky blood. exactly the conditions that make clots more likely to form and travel to the brain. A massive study from the European Journal of Neurology found that people over 60 who started their day with only coffee and no water or food had a 45% higher risk of having a stroke compared to those who drank water first or ate something light. The risk is even higher if you already have high blood pressure, which, let's be honest, most seniors do. The problem is, coffee on an empty stomach not only spikes your blood pressure, but it also increases your heart rate and triggers the release of stress hormones, making you feel jittery and anxious. These reactions force your heart to work harder, and over time, they can damage the delicate lining of your arteries. If you're someone who experiences palpitations, dizziness, or even just feels shaky after morning coffee, this is your body's warning sign. So, what's the right way to enjoy your coffee? The key is to drink at least 1 glass of water as soon as you wake up, and have a small snack before you touch your coffee cup. This helps dilute your blood, relax your blood vessels, and prevent the dramatic spikes in blood pressure and heart rate that increase stroke risk. Adding a little milk or having your coffee with a slice of whole grain toast also slows the absorption of caffeine, protecting your heart and brain. Remember, coffee itself isn't evil, but the way you drink it can mean the difference between a healthy brain and a sudden stroke. Number 5. Rushing out of bed too quickly. A lot of people wake up, hear the alarm, and immediately jump out of bed to get their day started. This is a mistake that's especially dangerous for seniors. When you go from lying down to standing up too quickly, your blood pressure can drop suddenly, a condition called orthostatic hypotension. If you're young and healthy, your body usually adjusts fast. But if you're over 65, your arteries are less elastic and your nervous system reacts slower, so your brain might not get enough blood for a few seconds. This makes you feel dizzy or lightheaded, and for some, it can even lead to fainting. But what does this have to do with strokes? Here's where things get serious. Sudden drops in blood pressure can trigger the release of hormones that cause your blood vessels to constrict in an effort to push more blood to your brain. When your vessels constrict and relax over and over, it puts stress on the walls of your arteries, increasing the risk of small tears or ruptures, especially if you have hypertension. A study from the Journal of Hypertension in 2019 found that seniors who frequently experienced orthostatic hypotension had a 54% higher risk of ischemic stroke and a 39% higher risk of hemorrhagic stroke compared to those who didn't. Ischemic stroke happens when a blood clot blocks a vessel, while hemorrhagic stroke is when a vessel bursts and bleeds into the brain. Both are devastating, but both are made more likely by sudden changes in blood pressure first thing in the morning. So, what's the best way to avoid this? The solution is simple but life-saving. When you wake up, take a minute or two to sit on the edge of your bed. Stretch your arms and legs gently and give your body time to adjust. Wiggle your toes and flex your ankles to get blood moving through your legs. Take a few slow, deep breaths. Only stand up after you're sure you don't feel dizzy. These small steps help your circulation catch up and keep your blood pressure steady, so your brain gets the oxygen it needs and your arteries aren't shocked into overreacting. It's a tiny change, but it dramatically lowers your risk of a morning stroke. Remember, the few minutes you save by rushing are never worth the risk. Number 4. High sugar breakfast choices. Now let's talk about something that seems harmless but can have a disastrous impact on your stroke risk: grabbing a sweet breakfast. It's common for seniors to start their day with sweetened cereals, pastries, or even sugary drinks like fruit juices. These foods are easy and often marketed as healthy, but for people over 65, they can be a hidden danger. Here's why. Eating a lot of sugar first thing in the morning causes a rapid spike in your blood glucose levels. Your pancreas tries to balance this by releasing a flood of insulin, but as you age, your body becomes less efficient at using insulin. The result: after the initial sugar rush, your blood sugar drops quickly, leading to something called hypoglycemia, or low blood sugar. This roller coaster effect puts massive stress on your blood vessels. Your body releases adrenaline in response, which makes your heart beat faster and your blood vessels tighten. A study published in Stroke, the Journal of the American Heart Association, found that people who ate high sugar breakfasts had a 44% higher risk of stroke over 10 years compared to those who ate balanced breakfasts with whole grains, protein, and healthy fats. The damage goes deeper. Excess sugar also causes inflammation inside your arteries, which accelerates atherosclerosis, or hardening of the arteries. This makes your blood vessels more likely to develop clots or blockages, which are the direct cause of most strokes. If you already have diabetes or prediabetes, which is common in seniors, the risk multiplies. How do you fix this? Swap out high sugar breakfasts for meals that are lower on the glycemic index, which means they release sugar slowly into your blood. Oatmeal with berries and nuts, scrambled eggs with spinach, or even a slice of whole grain toast with avocado are much safer choices. These foods keep your blood sugar stable and protect your blood vessels from the dangerous highs and lows that set you up for a stroke. You'll feel more energetic, have better focus, and dramatically lower your risk of a morning blood sugar crash that could be the last straw for your arteries. Number 3. Skipping morning medications. Let's move to a habit that's far more common than most seniors realize: skipping or delaying your prescribed morning medications. Whether it's for blood pressure, cholesterol, or blood thinners, forgetting your pills even once in a while can set you up for disaster. Medications for blood pressure and cholesterol are often prescribed to be taken in the morning because your body's natural rhythms, what scientists call circadian rhythms, mean your blood pressure and heart rates start to climb after you wake up. If you miss your meds, your body faces this surge with no protection. A 2020 study in the British Medical Journal followed over 12,000 adults over 65 and found that missing blood pressure medication in the morning increased the risk of stroke by 36% that day. For blood thinners, missing a dose means your blood becomes more likely to clot, especially after hours of dehydration overnight. That's when most strokes happen, in the first few hours after waking up. On top of that, if you're prescribed medication for irregular heartbeat, known as atrial fibrillation, skipping your morning dose can cause your heart to beat in a way that creates blood clots in your heart, which can travel to your brain and cause a stroke. So what can you do to make sure you never miss your meds? Set a morning alarm or use a pill organizer to remind yourself. Keep your pills next to something you always use in the morning, like your toothbrush or your coffee mug. If you're not sure which pills to take and when, ask your doctor or pharmacist to create a simple schedule for you. Taking your medications at the same time every day is one of the most powerful ways to cut your risk of stroke and protect your brain and your independence. Remember, these pills don't just control numbers. They protect your arteries, your heart, and your life. Don't let a forgotten pill be the reason for a life-altering stroke. Number 2. Ignoring morning dehydration. As you get older, your body holds less water and your sense of thirst becomes weaker, which means dehydration creeps up more quickly and more often than you realize. After sleeping for several hours, your body is already mildly dehydrated, especially if you haven't had a drink since dinner. Most people don't realize that blood naturally thickens during the night due to water loss through breathing and perspiration. So when you wake up in the morning, your blood is more concentrated and sticky. This matters a lot for seniors because thicker blood is much more likely to form dangerous clots, the direct cause of most strokes. There's a mountain of research behind this. A 2017 study from the journal Stroke found that people who were even mildly dehydrated in the morning had a 34% higher risk of experiencing a stroke within the next 24 hours compared to those who were well hydrated. The danger gets worse if you also have high blood pressure or diabetes, which make your blood vessels more fragile and less able to handle the stress of thick, sluggish blood. Many seniors start their day with coffee or tea, which are both diuretics, meaning they make you lose more water through urine. The cycle continues. You get thirstier, your blood gets thicker, and your stroke risk climbs higher. On top of that, dehydration can cause your blood pressure to spike suddenly as your body tries to compensate, increasing the risk that a clot will break loose and block a blood vessel in your brain. What's the fix? Start every morning by drinking a full glass of water before you eat, drink coffee, or take medications. If you take pills, drink them with at least half a glass. If you're not a fan of plain water, add a squeeze of lemon or a splash of fruit juice to make it more appealing. This simple habit can make your blood flow more smoothly, reduce clotting risk, and protect your brain with almost zero effort. Even mild dehydration is enough to put you in the danger zone for a stroke, so never ignore your body's morning need for water. It's an easy change that could save your life. Number 1. Sudden intense straining during morning bathroom visits. And now we come to the most important, and perhaps the most shocking, morning habit of all. One that scientists have finally confirmed can be the silent trigger for thousands of strokes every year, especially among seniors. That habit is sudden, intense straining during your first bathroom visit in the morning. For a lot of people over 65, constipation is a constant struggle. Whether it's due to medications, a slower gut, or not drinking enough fluids, going to the bathroom can be a real challenge. But the danger comes when you strain hard to have a bowel movement, especially first thing in the morning when your body is not yet fully awake. Here's what happens in your body when you push or hold your breath while straining, a process known as the Valsalva maneuver. Your blood pressure shoots up dramatically, sometimes by 40, 50, or even 60 points within seconds. This surge can be disastrous for seniors because your arteries are often already stiff and weakened from years of high blood pressure or cholesterol. The force can cause a blood vessel to burst in your brain, resulting in a hemorrhagic stroke, or it can shake loose a clot, triggering an ischemic stroke. In 2022, a study published in the journal Neurology tracked over 8,000 adults aged 60 and above and found that those who regularly strained hard during morning bowel movements were nearly twice as likely to suffer a stroke within the next 5 years compared to those who had easier bathroom visits. The risk was highest in the first 2 hours after waking up, a time when the body's natural blood pressure is already on the rise. Many seniors don't like to talk about constipation, but it's not just an annoyance. It's a genuine, life-threatening risk if not managed. If you find yourself holding your breath or pushing hard, you are putting massive, sudden stress on your arteries at the worst possible time. So what can you do to avoid this deadly morning habit? The answer is to make your bathroom visits as smooth and gentle as possible. This starts with staying hydrated, eating enough fiber like fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and moving your body throughout the day. A daily walk or even light stretches can keep your gut moving. If your medications are causing constipation, talk to your doctor. There are safer alternatives or gentle laxatives that can help. Don't ignore regular constipation and don't be embarrassed to ask for help. Simple changes like eating a high-fiber breakfast and taking your time in the bathroom can dramatically lower your stroke risk. Remember, the most dangerous morning habit for stroke is one almost nobody talks about, but for seniors, it can be the silent difference between health and catastrophe. Now you know the habits that feel routine or harmless can actually stack the odds against your brain, especially after age 65. Every morning, your body faces a perfect storm: thicker blood, higher blood pressure, and a brain that needs steady, reliable blood flow to stay sharp and healthy. Begin tomorrow with water, a calm wake-up, the right breakfast, and no unnecessary rushing or straining. If you're worried about any of these issues, talk with your doctor and get personalized advice. Now we want to hear from you. Have you ever noticed any strange symptoms in the morning that made you worry about your health or stroke risk? Which of these morning habits surprised you the most? Share with us your experiences and opinions in the comments below. We love to hear them. Thanks for watching.